Hello friends, welcome to Suresh Aggarwal's Mathematics Shortcuts. Compound interest, a topic which has a wide variety of questions, and you need to practice a lot of questions to feel comfortable in cracking the multiple choice questions based on this important topic. The time required for the money to become two times itself or double, become three times itself, or become even four times, five times, seven times. You know, these are some of the very frequently asked questions in the competitive exams, especially SSC, CGL, and IBPS. These are the exams where these type of questions are given quite often. So apart from the knowledge of the traditional approach or the traditional formulas which you use to crack these questions, you should know some of the short tricks also through which you can actually calculate these problems very quickly and thereby saving a lot of time. And we all know that time is the ultimate thing, in cracking these placement exams. So friends, let's take up the questions, and the rule which I am going to tell you will enable you to solve these questions within, say, how much time? Say 10 seconds. So if I say 10 seconds, it will be like what? 10 seconds to solve a question of compound interest. And yes, you will see after watching the complete video that this is possible. So if you like the video, at the end of it, you need to share it with all your friends so that they can also take benefit out of this. And if you have not clicked the subscribe button till now, please do it now, and click the bell shaped icon so that you keep on getting the notifications of important uploads on the channel. So here we go, and let's have the first rule. So I'm going to take up how much is the time required to double the money invested at compound interest, and this rule is known as the rule of 72. Now what is the rule of 72? For that I am going to write a very simple formula here. The formula is, suppose you have to you already know rather the number of years for which the investment is made. If you multiply the number of years by the ROI, that is the rate of interest, okay, you always get a 72 when it is a question of doubling the money. That means when you have to find in how much time the money doubles itself. And so if you have to find the number of years after which the money will double itself, you just have to divide 72 by the ROI, that is the rate of interest. And surprisingly, that will give us the number of years in which the money doubles. Let's take an example where the ROI given, or the rate of interest which is given, is 6% per annum. Now at 6% per annum, if you invest, see, whatever amount, that is, the trick is irrespective of what amount you are investing. So whatever is the investment, whether 1 rupee or 1 lakh rupee or 10 lakh or any amount for that matter, you will get the correct answer in how much time will it double itself. So 6% per annum, the number of years or the time in which the money will double itself will be 72 divided by the ROI 6, and that gives us exactly 12. So in 12 years time, at 6% per annum compound interest, the money invested will become 2 times itself. Now if I keep on changing the ROI, I'll get a new answer, and obviously when the rate of interest is more, the time will be lesser. That means if you get 10% interest, suppose 10% interest, so 10% per annum, that means the time required to double the money will be 72 upon 10, that is 7.2 years. So in 7.2 years, at 10% per annum compound interest, the money will double itself. Now I think we don't have to do more examples. We'll take one or two more, say 8% per annum. 8% per annum means the time required to double the money at this ROI, rate of interest, will be 72 upon 8, and that is exactly 9 years. 12% per annum interest, suppose you have borrowed money and the interest being charged is 12% per annum. So the time required to double will be 72 upon 12, that is 6 years. So at 12% per annum compound interest in within 6 years, I mean exactly after 6 years, the money will double itself. So we are dividing by 70, dividing the ROI by 72, right? And that is why the rule is known as the rule of 72. Likewise, we have everything simplified for you, and we can actually find the time required to triple the money. Now 3 times itself. So 100 rupees becomes 300 rupees, or 12,000 rupees becomes 36,000 rupees. That is tripling of the money at compound interest, obviously. And now the rule is changed to the rule of 114. So the time required to triple the money is 114 divided by the rate of interest. Now just apply this formula and check whether you get the correct answer or not. I'll start with the ROI being 4% per annum. So if ROI is 4% per annum, then the time required to triple the money will be 114 divided by 4, and how much is that? That is 57 by 2, right? And that is 28.5 years. So in 28.5 years, the money will triple itself at 4% per annum compound interest. Likewise, so you can pick up some more examples, say 6% per annum. So if the ROI is 6%, now the ROI has increased, right, from 4% to 6%, so the time will be reduced. The time will be 114 divided by 6, and I think this cancels by 2, so this is 3 and this is 57, and 57 by 3 is exactly 19 years. So in 19 years time, at 6% per annum compound interest, the money will triple itself. Likewise, we can have more examples where, say, you can take 10% per annum. So when the money has to triple itself at 10% per annum, the time required will be 114 upon 10, that is 11.4 years. So friends, how much time will you take to find the time required? I think it is just about dividing 114 by the ROI. So I think 10 seconds is more than enough for finding the time, especially when it is a multiple choice question. You can actually crack that in 5 to 7 seconds time without using pen and paper. Let's have the final rule. This is for finding the time required for the money invested to become 4 times, quadruple, right? 4 times. So if 100 rupees has to become 400 rupees, then what is the time required at a given rate of interest, obviously at compound interest. So the rule is now changing to 144, the rule of 144. We studied the rule of 72, where the money was doubling, not double of double, 4 times. So 72 also doubles and becomes 144. So the time required this time will be 144 divided by the rate of interest. And this formula works for finding the time required to, for the money to become 4 times itself at compound interest. So you can take some examples. Suppose the ROI is, say, 6%. We'll start with the 6% per annum. So the time will be 144 divided by 6, which is what? 6 2s are 12, 24 means 4. So 24 years time it will take for the money to become 4 times itself at 6% per annum compound interest. Likewise, if you take the example of say 8% per annum, then the time required will be 144 upon 8, and that is 8 ones are 8 and 64 means 8 8s are 64. So 18 years time required at 8% per annum to have 4 times the amount invested. And finally, let me take, say, 12% per annum. 12% per annum will give you a time of 144 upon 12, which is 12 years. So in 12 years, 100 rupees will become 400 rupees when the rate of interest is 12% per annum. So very, very important, the 3 rules which I told you just now, the rule of 72, the rule of 114 and the rule of 144. Very important for the exams. If you remember the rules, you don't have to do any traditional calculations. You don't have to use the formulas of compound interest also to crack these type of questions. So practice this, and I think a practice of half an hour is enough to gain this concept and solve all the problems related to this. So please share it with your friends so that they can take benefit out of these useful tricks, and all the best for your practice.